Hey papi, what I wish? Yeah, you my favorite dish. Can I get a taste, baby? Can I get a lick? No entiende mi Spanglish, but you can read my body language. Yeah, my body fell in love with a white boy. He's my hot boy. He knows how to turn me on. Always gives me what I want. He's my white boy. Yeah, my hot boy. Sabe bien lo que hay que hacer para darme todo el placer. Yeah. Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Hola mami, tú te pones muy rabiosa. Esa boca, baby, como me provoca. Ay, me gusta como tú te vuelves loca, loca. Me repite, me lo dice al oído. Llévame a Colombia, mi morena, te lo pido. Quiero serte un hijo, yo no quiero ser tu amigo. Yo no quiero ser tu amigo. Hey papi, what I wish? Yeah, you my favorite dish. Can I get a taste, baby? Can I get a lick? No entiende mi Spanglish, but you can read my body language. Yeah, my body fell in love with a white boy. He's my hot boy. He knows how to turn me on. Always gives me what I want. He's my white boy. Yeah, my hot boy. Sabe bien lo que hay que hacer para darme todo el placer. Yeah. Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Yo necesito de ti, dame otro polvito. Yo necesito de ti, tic-tac, qué rico. Yo necesito de ti, dame otro polvito. Yo necesito de ti, tic-tac, qué rico. Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Fell in love with a Aquí voy con mi white boy. Aquí voy con mi white boy. Hey papi, what I wish? Yeah, you my favorite dish. Can I get a taste, baby? Can I get a lick? No entiende mi Spanglish, but you can read my body language. Yeah, my body fell in love with a white boy. He's my hot boy. He knows how to turn me on. Always gives me what I want. He's my white boy. Yeah, my
Hello and welcome. We are live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us on this very special premiere of the new Dillon Francis album, Wut Wut. It is going to be out in a matter of hours, and this is your first look, your first chat with Dillon Francis on the eve of the release of Wut Wut. My name is Kyle Anderson. We look forward to chatting with the man himself. He's going to be out in just a few seconds. You'll have the opportunity to speak to him as well. Be sure to send us questions through the YouTube chat. We'll get to that later on in the hour. But enough out of me, because I'm not that interesting. Let's bring in the man of the hour. His new album is called Wut Wut. It's going to be available in just a matter of hours tomorrow, September 28th. Please welcome Dillon Francis. Dillon! There he is! He's here!
Hello.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you.
You feel good?
I feel good. I feel good.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody's
You went to the party last night.
Oh, yeah.
Did you? No. You got someone to get your
She
shirt?
just has the t-shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did.
Well, maybe she got someone to get the t-shirt. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
No,
fine.
You did?
last night, yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very fun.
The important thing is the t-shirt. That's
yes.
the most important thing.
Yeah, not the album.
Not the album.
The t-shirt of the album.
T-shirt of the album. That's why you make the album.
Yes,
So
it's
that
a-
people can wear the t-shirt.
Exactly.
Exactly. Man, congratulations on this record, by the way. It's called
Thank
Wut
you.
Wut. It's going to be available tomorrow. How are you feeling on the eve of your album release? What is Dillon Francis' mindset at the moment?
Oh man, I'm still tired from yesterday. That party was.
What went down yesterday?
It was the best release party I've ever had. The fact that all my friends showed up, Diplo, the Chainsmokers, Party Favor, Valentino Khan, Wax Motif, What So Not. Just all these DJs came to my party, and then we all went back to back. So it was very much what the album was about, which was like having fun and creating, friendships with the people that I'm making music with. So it was just really cool to have it come full circle with this album.
Now it's actually happening. It's
Yeah.
kind of amazing. We're going to talk about what in just a few minutes, but I want to know from you, let's go back a little bit. I want to know your origins as a DJ.
Yes.
Because you've been doing this for a while, right? How long you been doing this?
Man, since I'm 18, 10 years,
10
maybe a little
years
bit longer than that.
A little over a decade.
Yeah.
And so was there a moment in your life where you had that kind of spark where you're like, oh, this is definitely the thing that I have to do?
Yeah. I know for music production, it was when I heard Rusko's song, he remixed Pro Nails by Kid Sister. And when I heard that, that's when I was like, I want to make those sounds. But for DJing, I honestly, it's so funny. I think I was like, I tried playing guitar, didn't work out. Tried playing saxophone, didn't work out. Tried playing bass, kind of worked out, I dabbled in everything. And then I remember like Linkin Park, Slipknot, and a couple other bands had DJs in them. And it's so funny to get into DJing from a rock band, but
Right.
I just remember
You've got to be the only person to look at Slipknot and go, I better be a DJ.
Yes, I probably.
You're the first and only.
I either wanted to be the DJ from Slipknot or the guy that hits the keg. Because there was that one
Those
guy.
are the two best
in
jobs
that
in
band.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. In the Duality music video, I was always like, man, I want to be that clown. One day. One day.
One day. Keep dreaming, man.
I'm going to get to that keg,
Never set your sights too high. That's kind of amazing, though, that was your entry point into it. And then, so did you have then any kind of DJ mentor or someone who sat you down and said, this is what it is and this is how you do it?
So I used to be, I guess, not a tour manager, but I used to like set up the Serato for DJ Ruckus.
Okay.
And DJ Ruckus is like, he plays everywhere, live, But I was working for him for I think like 6 months. I was going back and forth from selling suits at Jay Lindeberg to working with him, where I would like go to Park City and set up his Serato and watch him DJ, and then just kind of see how he
Similar jobs.
interacted. Yeah, well, you gotta sell, and I'm not selling music, but you gotta make people party to music, and then I'm making people want to buy suits.
It's exactly the same.
So close, you go like that.
The message of your life, right there, man. And he sort of was kind of your guide into that world.
Yeah, just watching him and the way that he was able to rock parties and get people into music. That he has a very eclectic taste.
Yeah.
So you play everything from pop music to hip hop to tropical records, everything. So he was just a really good person to watch. And there was also DJ AM, rest in peace, who I used to watch a lot. Like he played in LA a bunch at like. I guess the Roosevelt, my house, man, I remember going to all these SBE clubs and watching them and just trying to like soak up as much information of what they were doing. And then my friend Eric Hamilton, he's the person that he works with Diplo now, which is crazy that it kind of came full circle for him as well. We kind of grew up together, both trying to DJ places, and I would borrow his DJ setup when I got gigs, and he actually gave me my first mixer and needles. I was still on what's it called, turntables.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Old school.
Yeah, and he showed me Serato, and then showed me how to make crates and all that stuff.
And so then, what was the moment where you realized, oh, this is who I am now? Like I've arrived. Did you have that moment?
I don't think I've ever had that moment.
I mean, this could be that moment, Dillon.
I guess
Talking
so.
to me.
Yeah, that could be it. I kind of was just on the ride.
Yeah.
Like when I knew that I wanted to make music and DJ, I remember the one goal that I had that I wanted to achieve was I wanted to play CineSpace in Los Angeles, because it was like the place where all my friends that were DJs could play,
right.
But I couldn't do it because I wasn't a DJ and I didn't make music. So I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show everybody that I can do that. And once I do that, then that's kind of it. That was my goal.
Yeah.
So everything after that has kind of just been like, okay, cool, maybe I can do something else.
Easy, man. And then, did you ever have a moment where you, heard one of your productions, like on the radio or in a public space, or like, did you ever have that kind of awesome moment?
Yeah, Major Lazer was playing Coachella, and they opened with one of my songs, West Side, and that was like, I'd also told my friend a year before that I was going to play Coachella. This was after CineSpace happened.
You gotta get to CineSpace,
Yeah,
and then the next level.
And then, so a year later, I was like, I kind of achieved it because Major Lazer played my song. And then I think the year after that, I did play Coachella.
You actually played Coachella.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I manifested that one too.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Just dream big, man.
My parents
That's all
cried,
you
dude.
do.
It was great.
Hey,
I'm happy.
your West Side is actually a great transition into this new album, Wut Wut.
Yes.
Because this is very much your sort of return, your revival of Mobaton.
Yes. Yes.
Which is very cool.
And if anyone doesn't know what that is, they should go look at my back catalog.
You've got some in there.
Because it's funny, I've gotten this a lot recently, and where people will be like, "Man, I miss the old Dillon Francis." And the thing that sucks is I've been making music for so long, so when I hear them say that, I automatically think it's the West Side EP. But people are like, they jump on the ship from depending on whatever record they liked, and then they'll kind of go along for the ride. So. Yeah,
you've been hearing that a lot, and people saying, "Oh, like had people specifically brought the West Side EP."
I think that's every artist. Like that happens,
Yeah.
just to artists on the same level. Jay-Z, it happens to him.
Sure.
Happens to me. We're the same caliber.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
You're both currently touring with Beyonce.
Well, yeah, Beyonce. Yeah, Beyonce, aka Gerald.
Yep, exactly. Beyonce and Gerald.
He
Very
does go
similar.
by that sometimes.
They have, I gotta say, they have very similar Instagram presences.
They're both popping. They are.
Yeah, it's really happening. Did I see, is Gerald now verified?
Yes, he is. Gerald is verified on Instagram.
That is fascinating. And by the way, for people that don't know, Gerald is a piñata.
Yes.
Who is
my
maybe alive.
best friend.
Dare I ask how that got started?
That got started. I'll give you the very quick story. I went in for.
It's weird that there's a long one to it.
There is a long one. There's a really long one.
Okay.
The quick story is I went in for a meeting with this company. They had fulfilled my old writer. A piñata was on there with other miscellaneous things.
Okay.
And as I was leaving, they're like, "Hey, you don't want the piñata?" And we locked eyes.
You and the piñata.
The piñata and I said, "Wait, I do want this piñata." So I took it home, and then I have this weird crevice in my house. It's the most bizarre crevice ever. I don't understand what it's there for. I don't know why that it has 2 outlets to plug in a lamp that would never fit in the crevasse. And it also has an Ethernet plug and a coax cable. No one's gonna watch TV in this crevasse as well.
That TV doesn't exist. Okay.
No. So he fit perfectly in there. And so the next day, this is also, I feel like this is still the long version of the story. The next day, I just opened up Snapchat and I was looking for food in my fridge, and I turned my phone to him and I just started yelling, "Aren't you happy, Gerald? Aren't you happy?" And I started screaming it, and it just kind of took. People really liked Gerald after I did that video, and then when someone likes something, it sparks my creativity to be like, what else can I do with this? I don't,
Yeah.
It was when Snapchat was very of the moment, so you could see if something was sticky or not.
Right. And you just said, well, let's run with this.
Let's run with. So I just started creating. Like I've loved acting forever. Jim Carrey was my favorite actor when I was growing up. So, and then when I was in high school, I used to do this class, New Genres, and it was like my only outlet because I was in visual arts. It was my only outlet to do video stuff. So we used to make fun of Laguna Beach, where I would dress up as the girls and pretend like that we ate Hot Pockets without chewing them. This is a short version of this. Oh, man. That story is, But anyways, from doing that, I realized that on Snapchat I could create storylines of my own with this piñata ruining my life, and that's kind of it was fun. So that's why I just kept doing it.
And so how many followers does he have now?
I think he has 44K on Instagram.
That's healthy.
Only started it, I think, a month ago.
Yeah.
So he's cooler than me.
He's on the rise.
Yeah.
Clearly on the rise. Yeah. But I assume that he's not as good a producer as
no,
you
he
are,
doesn't
right?
dabble
That's the thing you have over him.
He's a star. Can we swear? We can swear, right? Because it's on my YouTube.
It's your thing, man.
He's a star fucker, That guy's a star fucker. He's a social climbing asshole, and but I love him.
Yeah, he's adorable. It's very much the truth. Did he serve as any kind of particular inspiration for anything on Wut Wut?
No.
Okay.
No.
You keep that separate.
I keep it completely separate. Yeah.
Let's talk about it because it's been 4 years since you had a full-length record, and I'm curious that for someone like you who is working all the time, you're producing, you're DJing, you're remixing. How do you know, it's time to make a record?
I think after Money Sucks Friends Rule came out, I put out This Mixtape Is Fire, and then after that, I think maybe 6 months later, I feel like that's like the cycle, you know? I think it was 6 months later, I was like, I need to start figuring out what album I need to make or put together, and then that's when I had left. I'd come up with the idea with my manager to make a Spanish album. It was Spanish language album, but I had left Columbia Records, which was the major label that I was on, because one, I didn't want to be on the major label anymore, and two, because I didn't think that they would get that album. Which is funny enough that now they probably actually would have, because of the state of music. But
Yeah, right.
but yeah, it was that and just wanting to re-inspire myself and figure out what I wanted to make. Because when you're remixing, you kind of can just go everywhere, and an album's like that. You want to hone in and try to create something that's cohesive.
Yeah. And so your interest in making a Spanish language record, is that something that is, I mean, you're born and raised in Los Angeles, is that something that's particularly LA for you? Do you just like the way that Spanish sounds next to your production? And where does that germinate from?
I mean, who doesn't love how Spanish sounds?
I mean, it's a wonderful language.
Yeah, it's a romance language.
And you can sing in it, you can rap in it, like it's a very...
Yeah, but for me it was there was this producer Munchie that he's been a big inspiration of mine since I started making music, and since the West Side EP. He was always making stuff that had little samples of Spanish in them. So the original idea was kind of to go and make records like Get Low or like KK and make an album like that. It wasn't actually to go and be like, I'm gonna get verses in Spanish. It blossomed into that through the album process. And that we had gotten this guy Toy Selector, who I knew back from 2011. He was also in like the big surge of Moombahton during that time, because that's kind of when it was created.
Yeah.
Anyways, to answer your question though, Moombahton was what really got me into any Spanish style music, and
Right.
then through just making Moombahton for that long, I think that's where it was like this would be really cool to work with the artists that this music actually comes from.
Yeah. And so what was your starting point for Wut Wut? Was there a particular collaborator that you knew you wanted to get in there? Was there a particular, beat that you've been playing with where you knew you were saving it for this record?
Yeah, I'd gotten in the studio for 2 months, I think in the beginning of the year, just sitting. I'd rented out a studio on Santa Monica and La Brea, and I was just sitting in there making instrumental after instrumental after instrumental after instrumental, and then I would send them to my manager. He would kind of go through and be like, this one sucks, this one's good, because he used to A&R for Warner. Mm-hmm. So he would go through them and then kind of clear out all the ones that he thought were crappy, and then send them to Toy Selector, who would then send them to other people to try to get them interested. Because another thing that I don't think that many people know about this album is I got in the studio with every single person on this album. So
you're face to face with everybody.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I really wanted to do, was get the person interested in the song and then be like, hey, do you want to get in the studio in LA or wherever you are? We can figure it out. Just because I've done most of my music through the wire. Like the song that I did with Brendan Urie off of Money Sucks Friends Rule, we never got in the studio. I sent it to him, and he literally recorded on an Apple phone being like, hey, here's my recording. Do you like it? And then he got in the studio and then recorded the final vocals. So,
wow.
I mean, we luckily have a good friendship, but I wanted to create that sort of intimacy with the songs.
And does that, I mean, I would assume the answer is yes, but how does that actually change the way that you work when you have the person you're working with right in front of you rather than, over email?
I mean, it's just fun. It's like, you get a little bit of anxiety just because like you want to try to impress each other. At least I want to try to impress them to make sure that they're like, this guy sucks. He doesn't know what he's doing, and make them feel comfortable. But it's really fun because you get to help them create the story of the song, and that happened with White Boy. That happened with We the Funk, and a couple of other songs on there.
And did you end up having to travel a bunch for this record? Like,
Yeah.
to go to people?
I went to Dominican Republic for 3 days where we were working with a bunch of artists, and that's actually where I got the vocal with Archangel, which never was supposed to actually be a record that I was supposed to get because I had never reached out to him because I didn't think he wanted to work with me. So he was somehow...
The grapevine that he thought Dillon Francis sucks?
Maybe. I just thought he was I'm not making reggaeton, I'm making moombahton.
Right.
So for them to listen to my music, that might not be something that they would want to work on.
Right.
That's like with trap music. There's certain EDM trap that you could play a hip hop artist that they're gonna be like, dude, I don't want to sing on. I don't want to be on that. I want to be on a different type of record. So it is kind of having to coax them into being on a song like the ones that I make. But somehow the stars aligned, and he was working out in Dominican Republic. He was staying there for like 2 days or something like that during the time that I was. And our friend Emilio was like, hey, do you want to get in the studio with Dillon? He's like, yeah, sure. Come to my hotel and come and hang out. And if he's not weird, we can get in the studio. And so I hung out with him for like 4 hours while they were like drinking beer. And I was just kind of sitting on the computer being like, what the fuck should I play him? Oh my God, I don't know what music he wants to hear. And then we got in the studio, and we were in the studio till 6 a.m. And then his friend Kimiko came in the studio, and I saw that opportunity that he's an artist as well. And it was really cool. He was playing music out by his car, like on the streets of the Dominican Republic, and we were all dancing. I'm just like the whitest dude in this neighborhood, dancing to his hip hop. And then I got him to get on the song right as he was about to leave. But yeah, a lot of cool moments happen just from getting in the studio with people like that. If I was never in the Dominican Republic, I would have never gotten that record.
Yeah, you would have never that created that opportunity, which is very cool. Did you? And this may be a very silly question, Dillon, but do you speak Spanish?
Más o menos.
So did you run into any sort of language barrier with some of these artists?
No.
Okay.
Most of them speak English.
Okay.
And we would talk in English, and then they would sing in Spanish, and then kind of tell me what they're talking about. I can grasp a lot of words and put together the sentences.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put it together like correctly. My high school Spanish of 4 years definitely wore off, and I'm sorry to Mrs. Hill. I love you, but
she forgives you.
Yeah.
And we have her right here. No, we don't have
Mrs.
her.
Hill.
It's not a thing that's happening. How weird would that be?
That would be
if
amazing.
That were actually the case. That's kind of incredible. Dillon, we're talking about Wut Wut. The album is out just a few hours from now. That's got to be very, very exciting for you. I think we should play some tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're ready to play some tracks.
Yeah.
We've heard a bunch of the stuff from Wut Wut so far. You've been sort of slowly releasing songs, but there are 4 songs we have yet to hear.
Yes.
And I think we should hear some of those.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Do you want to begin with a track called Esta Noche?
Yes.
Let's talk about. Do you want to set this up at all, or do you
I
just
can
want
set
people
it
to
up.
hear it? Or?
Yeah, this is a good one to set up. This is actually the second song from the album. It's the second song on the album, but it's the second song that was actually created for the album. This girl, Jimena Sariana, she's this incredible singer-songwriter from Mexico City. She's incredible, and yeah, it was so nice to get in the studio with her, and she kind of really understands how dance music was, so it was really easy to coax her into getting onto my song. Thank God.
Yeah. So she got it right away.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, because she usually sings on like not my music at all, so this was like a really cool moment for me to be able to work with someone that's of her caliber and she's in such a different world than I am, and so I think. One, it's the most mature song that I've ever made, and sound-wise, and then also just the collaboration-wise. So
cool. All right. Well, let's hear a little bit of it. This, I think, for the first time ever, we're going to hear a little piece of Esta Noche from the album Wut Wut. Let's go.
Turn up the window.
So that's a little piece of Esta Noche
piece.
from the album Wut Wut, right? Pretty dope. Sounds pretty dope. Dillon, when you were describing this song, you described it as the most mature song you've ever made. What does that actually mean to you?
I just think that just like soundscape wise, I think everything in the song is very mature sound. Yeah. I don't know how to explain that. Like all the
This is not a record you could have made 3 years ago. No,
I would not have the caliber to do that. I was making like, noisy music.
And so, the thing that I'm always really curious about, and I feel like this is actually a real issue that a lot of electronic artists have to deal with, that you are obviously very good at moving a crowd and sort of putting this this music in front of people and making them shake around. But when you're in the studio, how do you judge whether or not something works? Like, do you have to are there a bunch of people that do you have a sort of council that you send stuff to where you think, all right, are you shaking to this? Does it work?
There definitely is a council.
Okay.
My council consists of my manager, Kevin, Diplo, and Calvin Harris. Those are the 3 people that I usually go to send music to. And if Calvin says, cool, that's great for me. But he's very honest. He's very honest with me, and like I've sent him stuff where he's like, dude, delete this file immediately.
This is
don't
trash.
don't ever show this to anybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I love it. I love someone that's brutal. Like, it's so hard to find people that are brutally honest with you like that. Like, Diplo's perfect as well, where just perfect as a person as well. I'm just kidding. Diplo's a perfect person for that as well, where when I send him stuff, he'll be like, yeah, take this out completely and put this in and switch this up. Or he's just very good at executive producing like that.
Wow. You and Diplo seem to have a very special and particular relationship.
He was the person that put me on the map. I love that dude forever. Like, it's so crazy to this album really, I feel like is such a cool thing for me because he helped with a couple of the records, but also, this is my roots, where I remember being in the studio with Diplo when we made KK, when I was like, the first time I ever hung out with him, when we were watching the Phillies lose a game, and he was like crying in the bar where I first met him, and I was like, this is so fucking surreal.
Typical
What the
Diplo,
fuck?
right?
Like, yeah, I've never met this guy before, and I'm watching a game with him like bummed out, and then we would go upstairs, and I'm like, I'm making music out of my parents' back house on speakers that suck. So just being in the studio with him, and now where I am, it's just like, it's really cool to see that.
I saw on YouTube, as a matter of fact, the performance that you guys did together at Hard Summer, which looked like, right? It seems like everybody saw this. It looked like a damn blast.
It was so much fun.
How did you guys put that together?
So, man, I wanted to go so much more extra with it.
Really?
And I'll just say this just because now that we've already done it, it won't make sense. It'll. Anyways, I'll just say it. I really wanted to get sponsored drops for everything, but I feel like it would troll the crowd too much. And what I mean is, like, I wanted to send out the music to like Wonder Bread and to Tampax and be like, hey, look, do you want to sponsor our set? We'll wear jumpsuits with all of our sponsors on them. Like, we wanted to go to Monster Energy Drink, so like right as the build-up's coming, it's like, Monster Energy Drink, bring the fire, But it would be trolling too much I would feel bad for the crowd, because it would be more for like I would just want to film that as a funny video. But we wanted to go that far, but then we were like, okay, let's take it to like not that level, but we'll pull it back, and like maybe we'll just make our own brands, and then we won't troll people by putting Tampax on the drop.
I have to say, as somebody who was not in the crowd that day and so would not have been trolled by that, I kind of wish you did that. That sounds amazing. That sounds spectacular. Let's hear some more songs from Wut Wut. And we have a song, again, that people have not heard yet, called No Pare. Who's on this track?
This guy, Joshua, coolest dude ever, has 10 times more swag than DJ Snake, which is kind of hard to do. No joke. Follow that dude on Instagram.
That's too much swag.
Oh, no. It might be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on record.
But he's awesome. I love his voice. It's really such an easy listening song on the album, and it's definitely one of my favorite songs. So I'm excited to start playing this one out. Actually,
let's hear it. It's a track from Wut Wut. It's called No Pare. Let's do it.
Porque no te escapas, dime qué te pasa, qué es lo que te falta, prefiero gastarlo todo.
That is No Pare.
No Pare.
From the album Wut Wut.
Yes.
It's out tomorrow. Very exciting. Now, there's one thing I know about you, Dillon, is that you are, I would describe you as something of a perfectionist.
Really?
Well, I think you're very exacting about stuff, right? We've had conversations before where you've talked about throwing out hours of music
Yeah.
that you've just like decided doesn't work. What is that a song that has like a ton of versions that we'll never hear?
Yeah, it does actually. That started out as like a hip hop song,
Really?
and I was playing mallets on it, and then I put the piano on. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of iterations of that song, and then Jesse Baez was singing on it first, and then I put Joshua on it. But I don't think I'm a perfectionist. I think the way that I make music is that I know that I have to make a ton of shitty music to make one good thing.
Right.
So that's why I throw
have
out
to
all
get
like the
through-
crap. Yeah.
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 You're like Andy Dufresne at the end of Shawshank
Yes,
Redemption.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to crawl through a bunch of shit to get to the good stuff.
And then you're on the beach in Mexico.
But that's the great part about making music is that it's a lot of lows while you're trying to be like, oh my God, have I lost my talent? Am I done? You know, can I make any more songs? Like that happens a lot with me. Where I'll be like, I don't know if I can make any more songs. I don't know if I have any more ideas. And then like when you get that push through to the other side, where like it's like, you know, when you hit a domino over and it just starts going, that's kind of what happens if like you hit the right stride on a song, and then it just kind of keeps going and going and going. And certain songs will take like a second, and then certain songs will take a month. Like White Boy, that song I made in one day. It was just everything kind of fell in place, and the vibe in the studio was right, and everyone was like super happy. Like the drop that I made it just like, I was like, hey, I think I can make something really fast just to make like a faux drop. And I made it, and I was like, actually, you know what? This actually should be the drop of the song. But I didn't think it was going to actually, you know, in the studio, I was just trying to do it to make her understand what I wanted to achieve.
Right.
So
And it just so happened
yeah,
that it worked.
yeah.
That White Boy is the only song on the record that is in English.
Yes.
Which, in an album that has all Spanish songs, feels significant.
Yes.
What was the reasoning behind that?
The reasoning behind that was to kind of help everyone understand the you know, if they can't listen to the rest of the album, they can listen to that one. One, two.
You get one.
You get one song.
Right.
You get one. Two. I feel like it's just that's like the kind of crossover for anyone that wouldn't be interested in listening to any music in Spanish. Because for me, when I was listening to Moombahton was the crossover for me to get into reggaeton. I was never like a huge reggaeton fan, and now I am.
Yeah.
So that's what I would assume would happen if you listen to White Boy and then you listen to the rest of the album. You're gonna be like, oh damn,
I get it.
I get it.
That's your entry point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just listen to their voices as instruments, or you can try to learn Spanish.
Yeah. Right. One of two.
Yeah.
Right. You have two options. But that feels to me like a very, very savvy thing, to knowing that there would be a certain sector of your audience that would not necessarily be resistant to it, but would not necessarily be familiar enough where they'd be able to embrace it immediately. And so
Yeah.
that's because White Boy's track one on the album, and
Yeah.
it's like it's a great entry point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very savvy. I'm impressed. We have more music from Wut Wut
Yes.
to preview here live on YouTube. We have a track called Cuando.
This one is one of my favorite dudes ever, Happy Colors. He reminds me of Munchie, actually, and he makes Moombahton as well. Happy Colors is one of my favorite dudes ever from Miami. The craziest dude. Give him any rum or any alcohol at all, and my God, he is the
That's
funniest
the secret
person.
ingredient?
You don't even have to, like, he speaks so fast in Spanish, and I barely understand what he's saying, but I still laugh. Because his inflections on everything, he's so funny. So funny. And he's very funny when he speaks English as well. But this song is really cool because he's not really a rapper, but I was like, dude, your voice sounds so incredible, you have to rap on this.
Well, it sounds amazing. The song is called Cuando. I mean, not that this means anything to anybody. This is my favorite song on Wut Wut.
It is.
I love this track a lot.
That's so awesome.
Because his work is mind-blowing, and the beat's sick too. So let's hear a little bit of Cuando
Yes.
from the album Wut Wut by Dillon Francis. Let's hear it.
Vamos a joder, que tu apenas comienza, dime que lo que. Trae tu botella que yo tengo tres. Y cuando se acaben compramos un seis. Tengo dos migas que están on the way, que son bien locas, no respetan ley.
That's Cuando.
That's Cuando.
From the album Wut Wut. I love everything. I love everything about that song. It gets crazier from there too.
gets-
People
yeah.
should know, it really escalately later on.
There's definitely a drop at the end of that song, which is crazy. And then he says some funny stuff too at the bridge, where he says, if you want a brown boy, you come with me. If you want a white boy, you go with Dillon.
You're all about options.
Que lo que.
Caliente. There is and this might be getting sort of like too in deep, but there is a thickness to the bass on that track
Oh yeah.
that is like kind of amazing. It's a perfect match for his voice, and it's not necessarily a thing that you would sort of pick out in a vacuum. How did you arrive at that?
I had to choose so many different 808s. I honestly,
This
is literally just sitting there and
getting machines.
Mm-hmm. I went through I think at least 50 808s on that song, of trying to get the right tone on the bottom end, but also for this album I had this girl Beatrice, who I met from Residente. He introduced me to her, and she is the best mixer ever. Usually I'll mix and master my own remixes. It's just faster, easier, and I can get the sound that I want. But for album stuff, I always get too scared of like, is this gonna be, is this gonna be the right level for this and the other song, blah, 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 blah. So I got in touch with her, and she's just incredible. So she really helped with that as well. She maxed that out. Because I told her, I was like, I want this to, like, if you're standing by a subwoofer, I want you to fly across the room.
I think mission accomplished.
Yes.
It's amazing stuff. We have one more track.
Yes.
And it's the final track on Wut Wut. It's called Get It, Get It.
See, so I started with White Boy, which helps every person get into that.
Sure.
And then for any person that didn't understand the album, this song has no lyrics on it. So if you enjoy no
exit.
lyrics, easy exit.
Yeah.
You can listen to it. And it's also a crazy, crazy fast dance song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. This is Get It from Wut Wut. So much repetition.
So much repetition.
Let's hear it. This is Get It. Let's Get It from the album Wut Wut by Dillon Francis.
Had to put a dance song on there,
Yeah.
Gotta end it with like a good old classic electronic dance music song.
Well, I was gonna say, and you're a guy who obviously has put a lot of time and energy into constructing this thing as an album, like you were, like a rock band from the '70s.
Yeah.
And so it does feel significant that this is the final track on the album. Why did you want to send people out on this?
I don't know. We didn't get to hear the beginning, but the beginning has more like an orchestral part that happens to it. So it just felt right to. I went through so many track listings and listened to so many different ways of trying to what song should be first, what song should be second, blah 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 blah. And then there was a lot of songs that didn't even make the album because this order felt perfectly. It felt perfect.
Yeah.
And that song didn't feel out of place in that whole album, and that's what I really wanted to do with this album. Was Money Sucks Friends Rule to me was like the least cohesive, most ADD album ever, which is totally fine for me because that's what I was when I made that album. I loved, and I loved, and I still do love every different genre of music, but this one I really wanted to hone in and make something where you listen from front to back and you'd be like, oh shit, okay, this all makes sense together. This deserves to be, listened like that, like an album.
Yeah. Well, Dillon, you have an amazing relationship with your audience, and so let's go ahead and hear from that audience live here on YouTube. Anybody in the room have a burning question for Mr. Dillon Francis? Yes. Can we get her a microphone over here?
Who is your favorite artist to work with on this album, and why?
Favorite artist? Gotta be Residente. He is the coolest dude ever. It's mind blowing. He's the nicest dude. Just such an incredible artist. The way that we worked on the song, I think there's at least 25 versions of Sexo. It first started out as like a hip hop twerk song, and it never had the reggae part in it. And he was the one that was like, maybe try a reggae part. And like we were on WhatsApp. He sends me so many voice notes on WhatsApp. which most people in Latin America, I feel like that, and also the UK, they really love doing voice notes in WhatsApp, which I'm totally down for. But we would just go back and forth, and we kept sending version after version after version after version, and then we got in the studio in Miami, and it's just like, it's incredible to see an artist pay that close of attention to detail, and also the vision that he had further than you know, with the music video, and there's a bunch of other stuff that he still is doing that I can't talk about with that song, where it's just like, oh wow, like you're like 10 miles ahead of me, you know, in thought process. So that, and then just also he loves beer, so it was incredible just sitting in the studio with him and shooting the shit, and he's so level-headed. So, and also we just got nominated for a Latin Grammy.
Yeah,
so.
and then they got nominated for Latin Grammy, which is crazy.
Yeah, so crazy.
And that's got to be kind of you know, a very positive thing for you, you know, going out and making this Spanish language record and having it be acknowledged like that.
It's mind blowing. I still can't believe it. My mom can't believe it either. She texts me about it every day.
She's
She also-
very impressed by your.
She also
Latin
texted me
Grammy
that
nomination.
she was super bummed she couldn't come to the party last night. So
Does your mom go pretty hard?
yeah, she loves going.
All
She
right.
loves watching. She's so into this whole world that I'm in. She's like, because you know, she was listening to it when I was in the back house of like the
she
most
had to.
horrible dubstep ever being created, and she's just like, I'm just trying to sleep. Can you please stop making that fucking noise?
But she's come around.
She definitely. She's like remember when we were talking about people that you could play my music to like get a you know, idea of
Yeah.
if they like it or not. My mom's the worst person to do that with. She's always like, I love it. That's
Sick.
so nice.
Who else has a question for Mr. Dillon Francis? You're right there. Let's get you a microphone.
All right, so out of the whole album, is there any particular song that you were most, you know, critical on yourself on? Because I know you got feedback from Diplo and Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular one that you were really, like, just beating yourself up on?
That's a good question. There was a certain part with, I guess it would be Quando, where I was trying to find the 808s, but I think with White Boy, there was one lyric that she says, which is the lick. Can I get a taste? Can I get a lick?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for like 2 months, I was going back and forth with my manager, being like, "Do we need to get her to recut it? Is lick too like weird?" You know, like I don't know, because we were like,
Like it felt too aggressive? or-
Yeah. But then I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm so sick of worrying on one word. If it's gonna make or break, you know, me listening to the song, and now I love when she says lick. So, sounds so weird to say that. But
But that is a very specific hang-up to have. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like there was something sonically about it that you thought didn't quite fit or didn't quite, you know, mesh with the song.
yeah, exactly. So that and the 808, man, that fucking 808, holy shit. That was the most obnoxious thing I've ever had to deal with, because like I have this process where I'll finish whatever I'm doing for the day on a song, and then I'll get in my car and kind of drive around aimlessly listening over and over and over again. And if I hate the song within the next like 30 minutes of driving, then I'll have to go and figure out what's wrong and fix it. And I'll usually come up with whatever's wrong in the car. And so that just kept happening every time. So the amount of gas I wasted on that fucking song is just mind-blowing.
Do you have a pretty sweet system in your car?
Yeah, it's good. I'm not gonna divulge what my car is, okay?
You don't want people tailing you
No.
while you're trying to decide whether or not your songs are good?
I have a nice Audi. It's great. It's
Yeah.
got whatever is it Harman Kardon or whatever?
Sure.
Comes standard. I don't know.
It's with the package.
It's with the
fine.
package deal, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There was someone else who else had a question for Dillon Francis. Let's see if we get you a microphone. The woman with the T-shirt. Hand that there.
Best T-shirt.
It's a great T-shirt.
Thank you. I got it last night.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
What was your favorite music video? Because you had like so many vibrant, like it was really like color orientated, like it was just crazy visuals.
So the reason the colors are so awesome on the album, or at least I think they're awesome on the album, is I got in touch with these creative directors down in Mexico called the Flamanguettes, and they came up with the idea of sonaderos, which are Mexican sound systems, and all the posters for them, you know, promoting the sound systems are like super duper vibrant. So that was always kind of something from them, and I was just like, I just loved the art direction that they were taking it. So it was that, and just kind of trying to add that into every video. And what was the other question?
What was your favorite music video?
Favorite music video? Okay, let's see. I think White Boy. The director Allie, she nailed exactly what I wanted it to be, and I also just love the fact that it's like kind of a Where's Waldo with me being every single white dude in it. So because we wanted to find a playful way to put me in, because Laura's just such an incredible artist. I've seen her music videos, and she's so good at performing. So I really wanted to showcase that for her rather than it me being, you know, joking around. I did have another music video idea for it that we didn't get to do, but I can tell you it if you want me to. So the original idea that I had that I told Laura, which she was super down for, was I wanted it to start out with the guitar strumming, and it just opens on this beautiful island, probably Dominican Republic, the place where they're living, this couple, and it looks like a Calvin Harris style music video. Like, oh my God, these people they're crazy in love. Oh my God. Gets to the drop, they start fighting a little bit, you know, maybe like one plate's thrown. Maybe not a plate yet, actually. Yeah. But they're fighting, and you're like, ooh, okay, I get it. You know, the white guy's fighting with her. It's a spicy Latina girl, you know. This is showing, you know, that side. And then they make up. The next drop happens, they fight again. During the chorus, I wanted to be like this crazy breakdown fight, like just flipping tables, plates thrown everywhere, breaking cabinets. Like the craziest fight ever, and then right as the drop's about to happen, they kiss, and the guy turns into ashes, and so she starts scooping up the ashes, and then smash cut to cops coming in. They break into her door, and she was actually a coke addict. So that was what I wanted the twist to be. Because the song, I M. Night Shyamalan to you, right? Yeah.
You took a left,
Yeah.
man.
Well, because. So I came up with that idea, and she was like down for it, and I was like, and then, you know, I feel like Columbia's really trying to get away from the cocaine thing, so I was like, yeah, you know, let's do the lighter idea. But that was mine. I really wanted to direct that. Wow. I wanted to M. Night Shyamalan people, you know.
And that, Dylan, that also feels like the kind of artistic freedom that comes with putting a record out on your own label, right? Like that you feel like that probably would have got some pushback on a major.
That's very true. Like if I had told a major label that, they would have been like, no. I definitely told my managers that, and they're like, this is a fucking cool idea. Yeah, I'm down. And then we all kind of came to terms where we're like, man, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I didn't want because the song was written with a double entendre. Like when we were in the studio, we were like, oh, it can also, you know, for guys if they do cocaine. I don't know. People do cocaine, okay? Don't do it though. But you know, that's a double entendre for cocaine. So I feel horrible that I'm saying for people to do. I'm not saying for anyone to do cocaine.
Yeah.
Don't listen to my song and do cocaine.
You really. I feel like you've weirdly said the word cocaine a lot now.
Way too much. Way too much.
We've made it weird.
Yeah, definitely. I feel very awkward now.
It's fine. You're doing great. Sounds good. We're doing good. Right? Everybody's having a good time. Who else has a question for Dillon Francis? Let's get you a microphone.
Throughout your career, you said you had certain milestones that you wanted to hit, so therefore, like the place in LA, and then Coachella is one of them. Is there another one right now?
I'm gonna be honest. I did want to get a Latin Grammy when I was working on the album, and it happened. Wow. So it's really fucking crazy that it did. So no, I don't have one. I don't have one right now.
Well, whatever it is, it's clearly gonna come true. Like you're some sort of warlock.
I just try to think about it happening and try to do it.
Are there places you haven't played yet, or shows, venues, like anything that you've sort of thought like, man, I'd love to rock that place someday?
I think if there's any milestones, I definitely like want to get more into acting. So it'd be like either movies or TV. Yeah. Try to get a TV show or something like that.
I recently saw you on What Would Diplo Do? The excellently funny Viceland series starring James Van Der Beek as Diplo.
Yes.
Which is amazing casting. What was that experience like?
It was incredible.
That show seemed like a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. The reason being was that James was the easiest person to work with and also the most collaborative. And I was working with one of my great friends, Brandon Dermer. He's directed a bunch of music videos for me and Diplo. He did Not Butter for me. But when we were working, I got to choose the outfit for my character, and I got to choose the backstory. So I kind of was like, I told him like I wanted to be this like crunchy dude from Florida.
Right.
That definitely like sold you weed sometime in the past, maybe other things.
Right.
Like that shitty hanger-on friend, but he's like the ride or die friend, and he'll do anything for you. And he was like, I love it, I love that idea. And I was like, I definitely want to be in a tracksuit every single day, and just have the most disheveled hair, and just look like I'm living off the fat of Diplo.
Well, it was amazing too, because when I saw that episode and I saw you on there, and I thought to myself, man, I've definitely met 24 of those dudes.
Yeah.
I've met that dude. I know who that dude is. Very specific dude that's out there, and he is out there. We have a couple questions coming in from YouTube chat.
Okay.
Who are people watching live on the stream? Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have a question coming in from Morgan Lawrence wants to know who made that artwork. Who was the? Can you shout out the cover artist again?
Flamonguettes.
Flamonguettes from Mexico.
The Flamonguettes. Yeah.
It is an album cover that really does reflect the way that the album sounds. Like it really is sort of like a synesthesia thing happening there, which I think is.
When they sent that in, that was my favorite thing I've ever seen.
You knew it.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's so aesthetically pleasing. They're so good.
Yeah.
Follow them on whatever. I think it's just at the Flamonguettes.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. They're incredible. They're really, really incredible artists.
Let's see. Monica Mdo says, you seem like quite the thespian. Do you love the acting side as a performer? Do you feel like you might move into that full time? Leave the decks behind?
I don't know. No? Probably
Okay.
not. No. Sorry. I like doing it. Yeah. I like randomly doing it.
Are you actively seeking anything out at the moment?
No. Not really. We had this show that we did for Go 90 called Like and Subscribe. And but Go 90 folded 2 days into the promotion that we were doing. So
Bad sign.
yeah, they were like, do you want to put your show up on our network, or do you want us to give it back to you and you can try to find a new home? So right now we're trying to find a new home for it, but it's this I think eight episode web series that we have, and I play this this manager named Sky Goldwyn that basically any person that gets hot or viral, I immediately start managing them. And I try to pick up all these little people and I want to manage everybody in the world. And through doing this, I have bigger clients like Josh Hutcherson or just to name whatever. But through me doing that, these people that were like only viral for a second, they start tarnishing my name. So then I make this social media halfway house, and that's what the show's about. And I executive produced it. So I mean I worked on that this year as well. So.
If only you knew someone at a streaming company.
I guess, yeah, it's weird. Man. I feel like there's a place for that.
Yeah, right? I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe one day.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have more questions coming in from the YouTube chat. Thanks, everybody, for this. Saul wants to know, how much time did you actually take to make the album?
2 years.
2 years, and then some like pretty solid work, right? You weren't
Yeah.
there's not like breaks in between there.
No, I was working on it. As I said, I worked on a lot of the music. I think it was in 2016, January and February, where I just took most. I think I was just playing in Vegas, but I took most of those. I took those 2 months off and just made a lot of the music, and then I think we had some more downtime. But I don't know. I always love working. I haven't taken a vacation since I started this career. I've mainly done like staycations, but still, that's like I love making music.
Yeah.
And so I constantly just working.
Yeah, you'd rather do it than not.
Yeah. I love working.
It's good work. It's a good day at the office. What
Yeah.
you're doing. Let's see. We have another question coming in from the YouTube live chat. Let's see. Gene Axel 666 wants to know your favorite quesadilla from La Casa de Toño.
The chicken quesadilla.
Chicken quesadilla.
And then you got to get crema on the side, because they don't put cheese in the quesadilla there. They don't put cheese in the quesadilla in Mexico.
Really?
Mexico City, they don't. No.
I did not know that.
If you go north, they do.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the
There's a
secret?
lot of quesadilla problems down there right now. Like there's
They got some.
There's
we might
well,
need
I mean,
to
they're
send
fighting. They're fighting about like a lot of people are fighting like why isn't there cheese in quesadillas in Mexico City? Because people are like, wait, it's a quesadilla.
Right, it's in the name.
Queso-dia.
See.
I've had long conversations down in Mexico City, Trust
Are
me.
you going to be the one to broker the quesadilla piece, Dylan? Maybe.
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 I really want to bring Casa de Toño to LA. So hopefully the one guy of Casa de Toño that owns it, if you're watching, call me.
You're ready to franchise.
I'm ready to franchise
Ready
it
to
here.
do it.
It is the best place I've ever been to.
What's the secret to the chicken quesadilla?
Well, I mean, the quesadilla is not my favorite.
Oh.
It's good, but the sopes there are like incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I believe you. and apparently so does someone else in this
They're
room.
so fucking
100% believes you. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Where's the Vibe AT? Would like to know what does I'm not sure how that phrased. Well, let me. Does what is the yeah? We're gonna fix this in post. What does the creation of this album what mean for you as a DJ? Like, is it gonna change your DJ game at all? Like, have you felt that it's affected the way that you've DJed while you've been working on the album?
No. This album is really just an homage back to KK. It was to the West Side EP. It was going back to have fun. So there's certain records that I'm not going to be playing live unless I have a remix of it or an edit that I make. Like, even when I play live, I have an edit of Coming Over. I don't play the original anymore. I have an edit that's like it's a more powerful hitting edit for live show. So I think it won't change that much. I mean, if people have seen me, recently, I think I maybe I just play a little bit more Moombahton. That's it. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It'd be very logical.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a question here from Atlas Castro. Who came up with the "Look at That Butt" lyrics?
Who came up with the lyrics?
Yeah.
Yorina DeMarco. She did.
I mean,
I helped her with the story, but it was like I wanted her to write about
the story.
Yeah. Well, so originally the song just had the vocal "Look at That Butt," and it was called "Cat Call." And so I was like, look, I know in Dominican Republic there's a lot of dudes that catcall like hardcore, like that's like the craziest phrases. Like I know that one of them's like, "Ma'am, go with God, your daughter can come with me." Like that's a phrase that has been said to Urina over there.
I don't care for that at all.
There's like they get crazy over there with the catcalling and just the pickup lines. So I was like, let's write a song that is basically saying to everybody the reason I wear the clothes that I wear or show off my body the way I'm showing off my body is because I want to show people that I'm proud of what my mom gave me, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so then she kind of created the lyrics around that.
And she ran with that.
Yeah.
That's
she loved
very
it.
cool.
She was like, yeah, let's do it.
I dig that quite a bit. Question from Ryan Schmidt on the chat. Where is your favorite place to produce music? And do you have a place that helps you be more creative?
I love producing music in New York. I love producing music in my hotel rooms in New York. It's really bizarre, but when I go and I'm like paying to be somewhere, I feel like I have to get my money's worth out of where I am.
Right.
So if I travel to New York and like we'll just be doing meetings over there and then working on music on my free time, that's what I'll do. So
really,
yeah.
And it's literally just like a financial motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I need to. If I'm just relaxing here, that's not okay.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why would anyone do that?
Yeah. Like I can relax at my house, and that's what's bad. I
Right.
can be like, oh, I'm gonna go and sit on my couch because this is my house.
And do you find that
I have to pay for this.
right? Yeah. I have no other options.
I have no options.
Right.
For the hotel, I'm going there, and I'm like, I don't have to do this, but I am.
Right.
So I should be making music so that I can pay for this.
Do you find that you function better in those types of situations than in like a proper recording studio?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Hotel rooms, man. It's just like just shut off from everybody else. I like put my phone away and I just stay in my little zone.
Wow.
That's the best way. I don't like to get bothered while I'm working on music. Because I need to like be in it. I need to be in my computer, just sitting there, listening to whatever noise or something I'm making. Just like, I don't know. It's weird. I make music in such a weird way. That's why I haven't live streamed myself making music because my music sounds so horrible up until a point.
And you look like a lunatic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like, when I was like telling Laura in the studio, like, yeah, I'm gonna make a drop right now. Like, it'll be the faux drop though. But then luckily it worked.
Right.
So because like I gotta sit through a lot of horrible noises to make the things that sound good.
Just abusing yourself.
Yeah.
Let's see. System Fails would like to know if you will do another song with your friend Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, we've been talking. And yeah, we're definitely gonna do another song for sure.
Is there, because he obviously comes from a rock place, like do you feel like that, are you guys able to communicate because you come from different backgrounds musically?
Yeah. He's really easy to I can I can tell when he likes a song immediately or not. It's so easy. Like if I don't get a vocal within 2 days, I know that he can't write to it. And then I have to give him something else. Yeah. Because he's the type of person where like he either gets that motivation right then and there, or it's, at least that's what I think when I send him music. Yeah. Because I can tell he's that person that like when he hears something he really likes, he'll do it instantly. So it just depends on me sending him the right song. He's really good at taking his time with that.
Well, he has such an interesting voice too. Like that's such a very particular instrument that I imagine you must be
voice,
very interested in.
Yeah, his voice is incredible. Yeah. It can go so high.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's
the guy can play piano. His voice is that high.
Yeah.
He can do backflips.
Yeah. And he's good at them. Like he doesn't make me nervous. There's some people who do backflips where I think that's not going to work out someday.
He's good at Fortnite.
Is he really?
Man, I don't want to make a song with him anymore. I play Fortnite. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you any good?
No.
All right, fair. At least you're willing to admit that.
Totally. If you want to watch average gameplay, come over to my house. You can watch it.
Sergio Uribe wants to know if you had to collab with someone, who would you want? Who would it be? Do you have any like sort of like Mount Rushmore collaborators that you haven't got to yet?
Right now, my Mount Rushmore of collaborators would be J Balvin and Bad Bunny. I really want to do a song with Bad Bunny and Archangel together, because that's one of my favorite songs right now is Tu No Vives Así by Archangel and Bad Bunny. So it'd be them or I think that's it right now that I can think of.
Does it seem like that could happen? You have
I think so.
relationships with those cats?
Yeah, I've been talking to I've been on and off talking to J Balvin, but he was finishing his album, so waiting till he kind of gets out of that cycle, and then I think his just came out 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I think maybe 3 or 4 months after is like the good time. Usually when artists are like done with, like, okay, let me breathe for a second, and then they'll get back into it. So I'll try to start sending him stuff soon. But yeah, hopefully that happens. That's like, I've been really wanting to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously, you are a much in-demand collaborator, Dillon. Ashley Harbold has a couple questions about collaborations. First of all, what are you working on with Alice in Wonderland?
We said that if I found out that we're both Croatian. I'm Croatian and Serbian. Yeah, she's Croatian. So we were like, if Croatia loses, we'll make a really angry song together, and if Croatia wins,
right.
The
World Cup.
The World Cup.
Yeah.
Then we'll make a really happy song together.
Okay.
Croatia lost.
They did not win. Yeah.
So the song's gonna be really angry. and we're working on it right now. We've been going back and forth. We're trying to get in the studio in October to like completely finish the song.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And Ashley also wants to know, do you have any other sort of ongoing collaborations right now that we might be hearing sooner rather than later?
I have one with Boombox Cartel. I have one.
I got an ooh in the
got
audience. I got a rumble.
Yeah, I got another one with Laura actually,
Nice.
and then Lewis the Child and I are trying to work on some stuff right now, and Kuko. That song's. I can't talk about that one yet. I don't know. I have to look back at the peanut gallery. Nick's not here. That's a no. That's a no. We do have a song though. We do have a song. Yeah. Yes, he's finishing it, so it should be out sometime.
That's all very exciting, man.
Yeah.
Kuko's
awesome.
Stuff going on.
Glad you reminded me. Totally forgot about that. But it's gonna be his song, not mine. I was saying more from what are gonna be my songs with them. You see what I'm saying? Because this one's gonna be Kuko and Dillon Francis rather than Dillon Francis and Boombox Cartel. Dillon Francis and Alice.
The billing is very important.
Yeah.
The billing is very important.
Well, because I feel like it's
Yeah. People gotta know.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions in the room for Mr. Dillon Francis? You, sir, can we get him a microphone? Oh, it's right behind you.
All All right, so pretty much since this album is like very Spanish oriented, you have a like a great selection of artists, and I think it's gonna help your music reach like a whole different audience, like especially like in Central and like South America. And like, should you do some kind of tour down there? Like, what is like which area would you want to hit? Like what's a city that you've been wanting to go to that you haven't had a chance to actually visit?
Well, I was supposed to play in Argentina for Lollapalooza, South America, and the show got rained out. And Argentina is one of my favorite places to play. The crowd is just absolutely insane, like insane. Like, I mean, like they're flying out of the crowd. The crowd themselves is like, I posted a video because DJ Snake got to play it the day before and it didn't get rained out. And we did Get Low there, and it was like the craziest video I've ever seen of Get Low ever. So I definitely want to go back there. I'm definitely going to be trying to go to Mexico a lot next year, and definitely want to go back to South America. Colombia is definitely, I really want to go to Medellin. I've been to Bogota, and there's a couple producers out there, this guy Mosti, that I really want to work with. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be touring a lot with there. But Argentina, man, I was so stoked to play a lot of my music from the album there, and then I didn't get to, so.
All right. Any other, I think we have time for one more question in the room. Yes, you right here.
Thank you. One of the things I did notice on the songs is that the Quiero Saber, it's very mellow, very beautiful song, versus the other songs are very high energy. So what made you go that direction on that song?
For Quiero Saber, which is actually a song that I made for with Jesse Baez. I think it's just more of Jesse's vibe when we were making the song. I feel like his voice is so beautiful, so it needs to be like that. So that was just it. I don't know. The song just kind of formed into that. That's usually what happens with when I'm working with artists. Like with Jimena, I feel like that song is kind of in the same zone as Quiero Saber, where it's like very, very relaxed, very beautiful sounding.
Yeah. And does that take a while? Like how much time do you have to spend with somebody before you can really kind of get their musical vibe in the studio?
Just a sec. Yeah, not that long. Yeah, you can just tell from any other songs that they've made. With Jesse, he makes a lot of like R&B trap stuff. So I wanted to make something that was reminiscent of that, but in the Moombahton tempo. Yeah.
Well, Dillon, this has been a delight. Your new album, you know all this. I'm going to tell you again.
It's going to be out.
Called Wut Wut. It's coming out shortly. It's going to be out tomorrow.
I think it's out in an hour.
Yeah, man. The countdown begins now. But thank you very much for hanging out here on YouTube. Thanks to everybody here who came out. Thanks to everybody watching at home. Another round of applause for Mr. Dillon Francis. Album's called Wut Wut. I'm Kyle Anderson. Thanks very much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time, right?
Yeah.
Another round of applause for the man. You earned it. He's earned it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We did it, man.
We did it.
Nicely done.
We did it, you guys.
You did it.
Thank you.
We all did it. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Hey papi, what I wish? Yeah, you my favorite dish. Can I get a taste, baby? Can I get a lick? No entiende mi Spanglish, but you can read my body language. Yeah, my body fell in love with a white boy. He's my hot boy. He knows how to turn me on. Always gives me what I want. He's my white boy. Yeah, my hot boy. Sabe bien lo que hay que hacer para darme todo el placer. Yeah. Fell in love with a mami, tú te pones muy rabiosa. Esa boca, baby, como me provoca. Ay, me gusta como tú te vuelves loca, loca. Me repite, me lo dice al oído. Llévame a Colombia, mi morena, te lo pido. Quiero hacerte un hijo, yo no quiero ser tu amigo. Yo no quiero ser tu amigo. Hey.